Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Motivate with Coach Camp. I, of course, am your host, Coach Camp, and I bet you know something. I bet you know where we are. We're down here in these amazing studios of SRP with Mr. Derek Michaud. All right, look at that. See what I'm doing? It's like a Mr. Miyagi rub-up, baby. We're ready to go. I've got an amazing guest this week that's come in. Look, this individual is busy. So for him to take a little bit of time out of his life to come down here and share part of his message, part of his journey with my listeners, it is not lost on me how important and how amazing that is. My guest this week is Mr. Lathan Warlick. He is an incredible artist. He's a rapper. He raps Christian. He sings country. He is a blend. He's a mashup of a lot of different things, and this man's been out there grinding it out. We're going to learn all about where he's come from, how hard it's been to get to where he is, and where does he see himself going next, because I think that's part of the story is sometimes we have to come from some tough places. We get to a spot, but then we're going to move forward, and how do we pass it on? How do we give something back to the people that are watching us and admiring what we're doing? Well, we're going to learn all about that. I know you guys want to stick around. You want to hear about this journey, so I'm just going to say, real fast, we got to pay the bills up in here, folks. So I'm going to send a quick word to my sponsors. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to have a quick second to let you guys know how much it means to me that you are my sponsor. SRP Studios, The Real Hernando, The Rhythm Section, Hardwick Heating, Cooling, and Air Quality, Estes Grading, Hodge Homes, Adair Honey Farm, Miss Hippie Eats, Phones R Us, Ross Sod Farms and Landscaping, Ivy Rain, Women's Clinic, Tonic POS by Tyler Young, and Coffee Central. Thank you guys so much for being a sponsor. If you'd like to be a sponsor, go to my website now, motivatecoachcamp.com, and click on the button. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody, and here we are with none other than legendary rapper, Mr. Lathan Warlick. What's up?
Bro, you got a great intro. I got to just say that, man. You're amazing.
High energy. Sometimes I get a little lightheaded. You just got to kind of flow with it.
Just go with it.
Yeah, my wife's like, please, is it time to go to the studio? You got to get that energy out of this house.
That's good, though. That's a gift. It's really a gift.
I like this
much energy.
Did you hear that, Alicia?
Yep,
it's a gift.
Thank
you. It came from Lathan. It's real, dog.
It is.
So look, let's talk about something. So there's so many avenues we could go to, but one thing I always like to grab is a little bit about my guest and where they are from, what their family life was like. So talk a little bit about where you grew up.
Man, I grew up in Jackson, Tennessee. Jackson, Tennessee. It ain't that far from here, but I grew up with my mom and my daddy, but I also grew up in a part of like a rough community, a rough neighborhood in Jackson, Tennessee. It was the hood, but it was always something in me that just wanted to be different.
Yeah.
I wanted to do different because I actually grew up with my mama and my daddy under the same roof, and everybody know that makes a big difference.
Makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. Yeah. And but I grew up with a lot of good people too.
Yeah. Did you have brothers, sisters?
Yep, I did. I had it just lost me. I talk to so many people every day.
I know you do.
But I got a brother, man, and I got 3 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a blessing to be around them.
Where do you fit in the lineup?
A lot. So at first I am like the middle.
Okay. All right.
And then I got an older brother, and I got 2 older sisters, and then I got 1 younger sister.
Okay.
So it's not really like the middle. It's like the kind of bounce up from the last.
Yeah, well, you were getting close to the part where your parents would no longer care if you were juggling knives. See, when you're at the first, it's like everybody's super protective. You got bubble wrap.
Yeah.
As you get a little down the road, you got 3 kids, 4 kids, 5. You're like 5 kids. We could probably lose one. We're still going to be okay.
It's still going to be okay.
So we got plenty to replace right now.
Exactly.
All right. So growing up, what was the thing that drew your attention? Like a lot of folks I've had in here, they had the thing that they ended up becoming. So was music a big part of your life as a kid?
Man, honestly, it was, but it wasn't in the way of like rapping. I didn't want to rap because I seen everybody around me rapping.
Yeah,
well, you in a neighborhood like that, man. There's so many people around you, just rapping and doing their thing. But
sure,
I just felt something different. So I loved music, but I wanted to dance. Yeah. So I actually became a dancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Before I did music.
Look, I did my homework, Lathan. I did not dig up dancing. So what kind of dancing did you do? Was it like pop and lock?
Well, it was more like juking. It was more like what they call in Memphis juking now. And, I learned it from a lot of them guys, man. Shout out to them guys in Memphis for Memphis juking, because they do a lot of dope stuff that we kind of picked up on. Was like, man.
Sure.
Then we actually had some guys from that city coming there to kind of show us and teach us more about it.
Yeah.
And so that's where it kind of stemmed from. And I wanted to do that. And honestly, because I seen so much going on around me that was negative, I wanted to do something that can transform my mind away from the negativity, and just something outside of just the bubble or the circle, and just do something different, do something wild.
Yeah.
And when I did that, though, it just started like a little movement, because once I did and started dancing, I started seeing a lot more other people like kind of come along and start doing it and start dancing. These people that was from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was kind of pulling
You were
them
seeing
away.
your influence.
I was seeing the influence already.
Yeah.
So God was already doing the work.
How
in
old
me.
were you at that time?
Oh, dude, I think I was like I was in 10th grade.
Okay.
11th grade.
Yeah.
You know.
You're just trying to figure out life a little bit. But the thing that I think immediately, if you don't mind me interjecting here, that I really wish that, I hope that this message gets to a lot of the young people. You didn't wait until you were older and had life figured out, so to speak. You started where you immediately saw a problem, and part of that was negativity.
Yeah.
And of course, negativity breeds negativity. But one of the things I preach is positivity can also breed positivity. That's why the Motivate with Coach Camp came about, because I wanted people to join on. I wanted other people to be a part of this. You can make an impact, but you can make a much bigger impact when you influence other people to join on with that same mission.
No, brother, I'm 100% with that. And just even being where I was, though, man, like, it was a lot of different turning points, a lot of different things that I seen. Yeah. You know, so my mom and dad used to always have us in church a lot. Even out of the hood, like my grandma used to always say things like, "I'm praying for you. Every time we go over there, I'm praying for you. Don't forget the Lord is with you." And I didn't know what a lot of this stuff mean. Yeah, you know what I mean.
She's planting seeds right there, man.
She was planting seeds even then until now. And then I remember when my grandma. I just want to jump on this right quick. I remember when my grandma. I was talking to my grandma, and right before she passed. Now she never knew nothing about me when it came to music. At the time, I was dancing still.
Okay, I
was sitting right there on her bedside, and she was talking to me. She grabbed my hand and she said, "Son, you're going to be moving the world." She said, "You're going to be moving the world with your voice." And I was like, "My voice? No, Grandma, I dance. I think you got it wrong. You got it wrong, you know." Yeah. But then now look, in 2025 going into 2026, man, all those words that she spoke came to true. Wow. They happened. You know what I mean?
That's
they
incredible.
came to pass, not true. They came to pass. And so that really influenced me too, for me to keep this grind of this music and keep on going. But it's also great to see how I influenced the people where I grew up at, man. It's some great people in my life that I grew up with in those rough areas. Yeah. I still talk to a lot of guys, man, that's in prison. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. That's why it's so hard to really kind of stay in the music, because we really are about trying to change them lives, brother, and do the right things. Yes. Because when you continue to connect with good people, bro, all that stuff, it follows you.
It's a butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's a butterfly effect.
It just keeps going and going. Yep. And here's the thing. Part of and man, there's so many things you've already kind of checked boxes on here. But part of that, which is great, because part of this thing is the one, you have to have the confidence that what it is you're doing is the thing that you're called to do. But the second part of that is to see the bigger picture, which is that it's not just about you, it's about all those around you. Yeah. It sounds like at a very early age, you were already recognizing the significance of the impact. And that's only grown since you've gotten down the road even further.
Yeah, but even as a young child, though, when I was trying to really dive into it, like, I still was being hard-headed. And God still kept trying to reel me in. And I still was being hard-headed. Because even in the word, it says a righteous man falls 7 times and get back up.
That's
so
true.
I kept on falling and kept on falling. But the last fall that I had was when a guy almost took my life. And when he almost took my life, I remember, I ain't going to go through the whole scene, but I remember being in the back of a club, because we used to go to the club a lot. Don't forget, I told you, we used to dance.
Yes.
So when we danced, we would go out to these clubs a lot. Now, I'm becoming 18 and 19, so I get to go out now. So I'm going to these clubs a lot, and we starting to dance. But at these clubs at night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a lot of things to go on, you know.
Sure.
And it was one time, brother, where some of my guys got to fighting on the inside of this club, and I remember pulling everybody out, trying to get everybody in the car. And I remember telling everybody, like, "Come on, bro, let's go. And I remember one of my guys walking to me, and he had his hand on his head, and I'm looking like, "Oh man, wait, you okay, bro?" And I see blood like going through his hands, and I'm like, "Oh man!" And I moved his hand, and man, he had a split on his head, like from the top of his head to the middle of his ear. And immediately I was like, man, I got to take this guy to the hospital. Yeah. You know? And so I immediately was like, dang, let me see what I can do, because it don't look like he'll make it, because I see the split. And I took one of my shirts off that I had, and I, put it on his head. And we jumped in the car. And as soon as we jumped in the car, I remember 2 guys walking up to the car that we jumped into, because I'm trying to get him to the hospital. I see how severe his head is. How about these 2 guys was walking up to the car when they walked up to the car, I remember looking at these guys and everybody around them was scattering. They were running. And when I'm sitting in the car, I look around me and everybody that I was helping get in the car, they ran.
You don't even know why they're running.
I don't even know why they're running. Jeez. I'm just looking like, but why are these guys still walking towards me? And in the midst of me trying to understand, like, okay, it's all coming together. People scattering, these guys walking towards me. In the midst of all this, the people around me is scattered. Even the guy that I was helping to make sure everything was good. But I'm glad God showed me a lot in this situation.
Yeah.
So as the guys was walking towards me, I remember looking like, okay, well, I'm not going to be by myself. And they kept getting closer and closer and closer. And I was like, okay, forget it. I'm out of the car. I jumped out the car, man, and I took off running. When I took off running to go around a building, both of those guys, they started chasing me. Because I was the last one. Oh. I was the only one left. I was the closest.
So you're just a part of the group and you're going to be a target.
And I'm just the person trying to help.
Yeah.
The people. I'm trying to help the people around me. In fact, before we even used to go to the club, man, I used to tell my partners all the time, all right, y'all, let's pray.
Yeah.
If I'm already saying that, it's like, but they was always like, okay, bet, bro, let's pray, And then it got to the point to where when I didn't pray, they would say, hey, Lathan, we didn't pray before we went to the club. So it's just, that's a different influence. But, man, these guys was walking towards me, man. And I jumped out of the car and I took off running. And I remember running around a building and I remember looking and running like, oh, snaps, these guys still behind me. They still behind me. And I remember looking back and running against a wall. Brother, I hit this wall so hard. It like, I'm sitting there thinking like, whoa, what the world? Yeah. Forgot that I hit the wall. I started kind of laughing at myself like, bro, what am I doing? That was crazy. I turn around. As soon as I turn around, man, those guys that was chasing me, there they go right there. They standing right there.
Oh, man.
And they got me. I'm in the corner. I got my back against a wall. Them guys are standing right there, bro, with my back against a wall. And when I had my back against the wall, I said, you know what? I was from a neighborhood where you fought a lot. Because this is what we grew up in.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I done done this before. So I was finna take the other shirt that I had off. As soon as I was finna take the shirt off, I knew I had to kind of fight my way out of this situation because it was two guys versus one. Yeah. As soon as I took my shirt off, bro, to try to fight my way out of this situation, I remember the guy coming around with a .45 caliber pistol, and he had it down to his side. And the friend beside him was telling him when he pulled that pistol out, I remember saying like, "Oh snaps!" It's like, bro, my everything just went dead in me. Because I was no longer like, I don't have no control.
Yeah.
There's no control.
You are, what's going to happen is about to happen.
What's about to happen is about to happen. But when I was standing against that wall, man, the guy, friend was telling him to shoot me. He was like, hey, man, kill him. He was like, go ahead. He was telling him to make sure whatever. And I remember seeing all of that. And I remember looking up and I told God, I said, no, wait, let me rewind it. When I was standing there with my back against the wall, the first thing I could remember was my grandma. Remember I talked about that earlier?
Yeah.
My grandma said, if you ever in a time of need, then just call on God.
How about that?
And that's the one thing
and that came to your mind.
It's the first thing that came to my mind.
Dang.
I got my back against the wall. This guy got a 45 caliber pistol to his side, and he picks it up and he points it at my face. And his friend beside him was telling him, man, go ahead and do it. He was like, what you waiting for? He said, go ahead and do it. Hurry up for somebody come. Hurry up. And he looked at me and he leaned in. Out of fear, I knew he would pull the trigger because his hand was shaking. So you finna just pop it because you're scared. And while this guy was sitting there holding that gun with his hand shaking, he leaned in and he pulled that trigger.
Dang.
And the trigger, and it said, click. And I was like, oh, snaps, I'm dead. I didn't know what death was like. I thought that was the death. I thought it was like, boom.
Did it go off?
Wow.
Or was it a misfire?
It was that's what I heard. I heard it.
The click. And
that means it hit, but it didn't, nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So jammed.
And so, same thing I thought.
Yeah.
And so, when that guy did that, I remember looking up like, oh, dang, is this what it is? Because to me, my mind went blank and it was like, okay, is this heaven? Is this, because I know I'm dead. And I'm looking like, oh, snaps, I'm still here in the same spot. I'm still in the same situation. And the guy took the gun out of his hand and said, you don't know what you're doing. Let me do it. And he cocked the gun back and the bullet ejected out of the gun. And when he did that, he was walking towards me fast. And by the time he was walking towards me real fast, a car hit the corner. The lights, because it was a dead end, the lights from the car that hit the corner flashed on me and them, and it was so bright around there. And the guy was like, oh, like trying to hide it, and they just took off running. And the car backed up because by that time it was chaotic. People was running around At that time the fight had started in the club and it leaked out, and now people run to their cars, people going to get guns, but even after that, let me tell you something about this though. Even after that situation, I seen where it wasn't nothing but the Lord. Let me show you how I know it wasn't nothing but the Lord, because when I was walking off, when I turned around and was like, man, dang, it's just, everything that I said, I forgot about it. I forgot about everything I said. I was just so glad in the moment that I made it out of the situation.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that moment, I started laughing. I was like, man, I can't be touched. I don't know why they came to mind, but I was just like, man, I can't be touched. Yeah, can't nothing really. Man, wow, that was crazy. That was crazy. But it was also, the Lord was showing me, even in that moment, brother, like while I was walking, I remember feeling like something sat on my shoulders. It felt like something landed on my shoulders, and it felt like it drew me weak. And I started crying for no reason. Brother, this is behind the club where somebody just tried to kill me. This is happening right there.
It's all in one moment.
It's all in one moment. And when that was happening to me, when tears started flooding my eyes, man, I started to wipe my eyes and just start to walk. And when I was wiping my eyes and I was walking, like, man, what's going on? I said, something ain't right. Something ain't feeling good. Or is something feeling great? It was like I was struggling in my head what was going on there. And after that happened though, man, like the Lord led me to that bullet where that guy ejected the bullet and remember he ejected the.
You went back in there and found it.
Brother, I had to walk out. It was a wall.
Yeah.
Then it was me and then it was them. So I'm circling around in circles and I had to walk out anyway. So I'm wiping my eyes walking out and I see where they ejected the bullet. Now, you said that it might have jammed. I said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But when I picked up the bullet and I seen an indent on the back of the bullet, that lets me know the hammer hit the bullet, but the lead just didn't come off.
Yeah.
So couldn't nobody tell me nothing about who Jesus was after this?
That's divine
intervention. You couldn't tell me nothing about God.
Yeah.
And that's when the Lord said, even during that day, like, I'm going to use you. I'm going to use you with music. And I was like, oh my God, my grandma just said the same thing.
Man.
And so that's how I am with music, dog. That's why I am, who I am and, who I am.
Thank you, first of all, Lathan, for sharing that story.
I appreciate it, man.
Incredible story. And look, you highlight something that, man, I know my viewers that have followed me for a good while now, they pick up on this stuff, but that it's just a miracle in modern day. I once had a friend say to me, why don't we see miracles anymore like they talk about in the Bible? I said, bro, you ain't talking to the right people.
You ain't talking to the right folks.
Because I'll tell you what, across from this table, I have heard so many miracle God moments that you cannot explain otherwise. There's no other way it happens. And then the fact that in that moment, you knew God was telling you, Lathan, bro, we got something for you.
Yeah.
I need you to follow this path.
Well, you're going to have me on fire in here. That's dope.
I know.
That's
and
dope.
The next thing, you're like, but you hear that calling. You know that there have been stories through the Bible and then personal stories of people I know that had those kinds of moments, but it didn't set. They didn't hear the voice still. And they kept going. And the next thing you know, they find themselves in another spot, in another spot, in another spot. And finally, it's like, God's trying to tell me something.
Yeah, he's trying to tell me something.
And then their whole lives changed. I don't want to take up any of your time here. It's incredible stories. But there's a guy that is a very dear friend of mine, and we work on a nonprofit together. It's called the Hope Center. And it's a nonprofit that helps underprivileged youth from 6th grade to 12th grade, give them mentorship, give them purpose, opportunities to be able to look beyond what you've even talked about, that early years whenever you don't have, maybe a great surrounding because they grew up in a tough spot. And a lot of these kids are that. They grew up in tough spots. So the mentorship isn't there. So that's a part of what we are. But the guy that founded this, the guy I'm telling you about, Stacy Dodd, he was a meth addict. He was a crack addict. He was homeless. He spent years in jail. And it was a moment in jail when he had the moment and God's like, I need to use you.
Yeah.
And he changed his whole life. And now this guy, man, he has had such an impact on communities all across the Mid-South.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands of kids. And it's just Lathan, I'm telling you, I am the one blessed. Right here, me.
Yeah.
I'm the one blessed because I get to hear y'all's stories.
Wow.
You know, whenever my wife,
Wow.
she keeps up. She's like, so you got to, what guests do you have this week? Because we have guests come in all the time.
Yeah.
The other day, I've interviewed a Vietnam POW. Incredible stories, right?
Yeah.
Leads back to God brought them through those moments of difficulty. And here it is, Lathan. She's like, what are you going to talk to us? Like, we're going to talk about music. I can tell you that. We're talking about some other stuff. No way could I have ever known it was going to start with such an incredible story that put you on the path. So we can eliminate questions 1 through 4 because now I know why Lathan went down the road Lathan went down. So let's hit this.
Won't he do it?
So here you are. Now you have been infused with this new purpose of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
How does that start to develop? Because we already know now you were a dancer. So how does this develop into singing, rapping, and what do the first moments look like?
Man, my first moment was another miracle moment, brother. Like God, it says that in His Word that you're gonna see miracle signs and wonders, and you gotta really truly believe that. And so I remember after dancing, I started wanting to do some dancing on another level. But then after that, I just started listening to Christian music. And I haven't really heard much Christian music because back then we was bumping like hardcore, 3 6 Mafia and Gucci, and it was that hardcore stuff we was bumping back then. Yeah. And I haven't heard of it. Then I heard of like Lecrae. Somebody told me about Lecrae. Somebody told me about KB. Somebody told me about like a lot of different people that was doing the music stuff. So then I started grabbing their music, and I was like, okay, since I'm dancing now, I started moving around with like a small team/church of guys that would kind of bounce around to different churches and do shows and stuff like that. So I asked one of my friends, like, I'd love to get in there and just do some dancing with them. So then I started moving around with them and dancing while they kind of bouncing around the churches and stuff like that. And I would kind of share a little bit of my testimony, and then I'd get back into dancing and all this stuff. But it was one time where I was at this high school. And I was at this high school, and I had to go on to dance right after my partners had kind of preached and told people about the Lord and a lot of this.
How old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, at this time, I had to been 20, 19, okay. 19.
Late teens, there.
Late teens.
Okay, I got you.
Late teens. And so when I met, well, hold on. First off, let me go back for a second. Now, I met a guy named Michael Hunt. Michael Hunt used to be preaching in school while I was in school. Oh. No, he would be in the hallway praying. Like sometimes, like we go to games, you would see him alongside other people, and he would just be praying with them, you know. And that always struck me. And this was the same guy that kind of introduced me to music. And more into the church stuff. And so he was like, hey, bro, why don't you go with me, man? You killing it out here. Like, you dancing and you doing shows and stuff. By that time, I was doing a lot of shows. He's like, man, you killing it out here, so you should go with me. And so I went with him, and that's how I really started moving in more of the Christian aspect of where I'm going. Yeah. And brother, so let me go back to the lady, though. So I was in the hallway, man, and I was fixing to go on stage with Michael Hunt and all of these guys. And when you look behind you, the long hallway, it was dark. And I was the last one to go on. The person that was in front of me had went on, and here I am standing right there on the outside, and now I'm finna go on. Man, I remember me standing just like this, straight up and looking at the door. And it's about 15 seconds before I'm finna go on. And a lady rolls up in a wheelchair. And she have a bag of WWJD bracelets. Do you remember WWJD?
Oh yeah, what would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
That's right.
She had a basket. She had like a bag of these bracelets, and when she had a bag of those bracelets, I said, "Oh dang, that's what's up." I was like, "Let me get some." Then I looked and was like, "Wait a minute, where did you come from?" And I looked back and was like, "That hallway is dark." Yeah. Where did you come from? That is dark hallway. All this stuff starting to really like, what in the world is going on? And she handed me 2 of these bracelets, and I remember putting one on, and I remember handing one to one of my guys. You know, I remember putting one on and putting one in my pocket to get to another one of my guys. And right before she left, she said, Lathan, do you believe in prophets? And I said, yeah, I do believe in prophets. She was like, well, the thing about it is, like, you got to really believe in the things that somebody telling you when you know they're a prophet. So it was something like that she was saying and putting together. And at the time, I wasn't really just kind of grasping on. Yeah. And she said the same thing my grandmama said. Oh. But she said it different. She said, Lathan, he want to use your tongue, not your feet, not your legs, because you're dancing. Wow. And I took my dancing from right there, I looked and was like, whoa. And I said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much. And when I got on this stage, brother, everybody was like, oh, he finna turn it up, da, 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 da. And I looked over at my partners and I said, nah, I can't do that. I said, listen, y'all. I said, I know y'all are here to see me dance. I said, but God put something on my heart that I wrote like a week ago. And I don't know why I wrote it, but I want to give it to y'all today.
Wow.
You know, and they was like, wait, what? You're not finna dance? Wait, what? And so everybody sat down. And I was like, oh, snaps, Lord.
Yeah, they were about ready to get hype. And here it is.
And I was like,
you feel like you done quenched it. Everybody just sat there like,
Brother, while I was sitting on that stage, the Lord showed me. He said, he told me, you already got it. Mm-hmm. He said, it's in you. It's in you. It ain't what's on you, it's what's in you.
That's right.
And I'm standing on that stage, bro, and I asked the Lord, I said, well, give it to me, God, give it to me. And I grabbed the mic. I said, let me get one of those mics. And it's like, man, what is Lathan doing? You know? And I grabbed that mic, dog. And as soon as I grabbed that mic, I just jumped on and was like, I'm a sinner saved by grace, and to God be the glory. The end of 2011 should have been the end of my story. See, the devil tried to take me, but Jesus said, hold on, Satan, because I'm going to use Lathan to help impact a nation. And boom, boom. And as I was going, bro, people just started standing up. They was just like, whoa. And then by the end, it was hyped again. And that was my pivotal moment right there.
How about that?
That was my turnaround moment right there.
You knew this was it.
And I was done. And when I was with dancing, no, don't call me to dance. Hey, I would do a spoken. At that time, I was like, I do a spoken word. Yeah. Or I do some talking.
That's right.
Know? But that's what led me into music.
That is fantastic. Yeah. You know, something I learned about what rap stood for. It's been a few years ago, but when I learned it, it's one of those moments. It's like the aha moment.
Yeah.
RAP is an acronym. It stands for rhyme and philosophy. Rhyme and philosophy. And I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Rapping is spoken word. That is what it is. And it was just like the dots got connected suddenly, and it made so much sense why that speaks to people. Yeah. While a rap song can speak to a person, and it can give them, it's not different. I'm not saying it's different than other songs, because like country songs, there's other songs that can connect with the person, obviously gospel songs, but it does go back to, it is a philosophy. And it is a rhyme. There is a rhythm to it. Yeah. And so it's all about how the presentation happens. I think it's fantastic that in the moment that the lady hands you the bracelet and you recognize this is something that's it feels different. And she says something that's similar to what your grandma said. And that's the thing that snapped. It was the grandma's words that gave you the faith in the moment before you died. Your grandma might be the prophet. I'm sorry, Lathan. I'm not trying to steal your thunder.
Hey, don't tell me that.
But I'm saying,
man, and if I knew what I knew, bro, I wish I would have spent so much time with her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why I made that song like that. Like, it's okay to cry and time don't wait on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it don't wait on you. Yeah. You know?
When you're saying that, the whole time my mind's like turning, and I'm like, your grandma was seeing things that she was being told. Yeah. And it come back true to you. Now, here's the funny part. I can so attest to this in different areas of my life. Yeah. Sometimes there's something that you feel a conviction toward, but it's not the thing necessarily you want to go toward. Maybe it's something that is like, I don't really think that that's me. Yeah. This is what I really am. But you see, there's a thing called faith. Yeah. And if you don't have that, you might miss out on the blessing. The blessing. Let me tell you how, just a fast, because I love correlating with my guest. And this is this is another moment. It's like I feel my heartbeat go a little faster. Ooh. It happened. I'm in the classroom teaching. I am a teacher. I'm a professor at college. I'm a retired firefighter paramedic. I loved being a paramedic. I love teaching paramedicine. I love motivating my students. Yeah. And it was my students that kept saying, hey, coach, because I've been my coach. I coached sports my whole life, and that's my way of talking. I'm a coach talker. Yeah. And they're like, you need to be a motivational speaker. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm a coach. I'm a teacher. Yes, I can motivate you there. Wow. But they kept saying it. And then they kept saying, you're Coach Camp. They kept putting that in me. And I got to tell you something, Lathan. I wasn't seeing it. Yeah. I wasn't seeing me be a rapper. I was seeing me be a dancer, if we want to relate those two situations. Same thing. And all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? I feel a calling. Yeah. And I put my phone up on a garbage can, and I made one positive message, because my life has always been centered around being around people that are positive, because negativity will drain you. It's a poison. Yeah. There's no reason. There is obviously points in life where you will feel sad or depressed or whatever, but you got to go back to that focus of positivity. And I put out this one message, and you know what? people often, they look at how many likes you get, how many followers you get, subscribers, and that's their validity to whether or not you're okay or not. I was looking at impact. I was looking at purpose. And I had one person respond back to that one video that said, this message really helped me. I needed this. My dad just committed suicide this past year, and I was feeling like giving up. And I'm like, bro, that's why I did it.
That's why you did it.
That's why I started down this path. And now I'm at this table and I get to share people's stories like yours. I am so blessed to be able to do that to people out there that are, who knows right now, Lathan, what you just shared.
Yeah.
There's somebody been battling with some stuff.
Yeah.
They just saw this. And now they want to change their whole life, their whole course.
That's what we're here for,
and
brother.
You're giving them that strength and purpose and focus.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I don't know if you noticed, I'm having fun. Look, this is great. This is a great story.
It is, brother. You actually inspiring me, man. You actually putting a fire inside of me because people got to think everybody's still human beings, brother. We're not robots.
That's 100%.
So that's why I like hanging around the good people too. Just like the people that can help. You got to have all type of people in your corner.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially the ones that can motivate you and stuff and keep you going.
Iron sharpens iron. Yep. That's it.
And with two or more gathered, that's what God would be. That's in His word.
Come on, we better start preaching up in here. Y'all better go get somebody. Pass the plate around for a minute. Let's go. So let's talk about this right here. So what's the first song Lathan puts out, and then what are your thoughts to it? Like whenever you put this song out, do you have hopes, thoughts, desires? What does it look like?
Man, yeah. Like because life is in the power of the tongue, brother. Like, think about it. What you say, people listening to it. Like you just said, those words that you said touched somebody.
That's right.
It meant something to somebody. And I also got to say, too, like, brother, that's what really touched me to make me go to next levels with this thing. When somebody hit me up one day and they said, brother, you don't know what your music just did. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, I was sitting here with a gun in my hand, debating if I wanted to commit suicide. And he said, I had Pandora playing and I'm Still Here just came on. And he said my song, I'm Still Here just came on. And that song, it says like, I'm still here, scars all over my skin. They can tell you everywhere I've been. You know, it sounds crazy like that now because, you know, I'm kind of crying, I'm tearing up when I say this.
I think it's great, man.
Bro, it's the music. It's what it's what you're saying that can actually reach the people. It can actually grab the people. And when we realize that, so think about all the music that's influencing the world right now. You gotta, what are you listening to?
That's right.
What are you watching? You gotta really look at this thing like this. What are you letting go inside of your eyes? What are you letting go inside of your ears? And what are you letting go inside of your mouth? Whatever you feeding yourself, what are you putting in your stomach? You want to make sure it's the good stuff.
That's right.
If you just eat candy all day, you're going to have a bellyache and you're going to get diabetes. If you listen to negative stuff all day, that's going to go in your brain. It's going to go in your soul. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you looking at, porn, or anything that you looking at, bro, whatever you looking at, that's what's going inside of your body.
That's right.
So you got to protect those gates. Those are gateways to your soul. Now, I can go deep about that, but this ain't the time and place for it.
But I tell you what, I think is very relatable. It's very relatable. And what you said, the words are powerful. You know, whoever came up with the saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me, obviously had no conscience or feelings because that's just not the truth. Words can absolutely hurt a person and absolutely can help a person. They can develop a person. And you're absolutely correct, man. It is what we expose ourselves to. You know, you can't go outside and stand in bright sunlight all day long and not have some repercussions from that stuff.
Exactly.
It's gonna burn you. Well, what do you think the world's gonna do whenever you're letting all that negativity come in? It's gonna burn you,
man. It's gonna burn you, brother.
You gotta guard yourself. And you're right. I love the gate theory too. That's a good idea.
You definitely gotta guard yourself. And when I did that, when this guy was saying that he was finna commit suicide and Pandora was playing, man, and my song I'm Still Here came on, he was just like, I instantly just put the gun down and I realized like, man, I'm here for a purpose. Like I know God got a plan for me. Even though I can't see it, like I can see it. And I just had to message him and tell him like, even when you don't feel God working, He working.
That's right.
Even when you don't see Him working, He working. When you go to sleep and you go into a subconscious state, you don't even know what happened in between the time when you took a dream. Some dreams you don't even remember. You just remember waking up from the alarm. But brother, do you know in that time when you weren't even here, He was working.
That's right.
So that's the type of God that we serve.
That's right.
But you gotta you gotta really dig in.
You gotta have faith. You gotta pay attention because there's so many moments that will take place in a day or a year that were life changing. And were you really paying attention to receive the message?
Yeah.
And you know, what's funny is sometimes it takes time, because I can look back over the course of my life and think about moments I missed. And you can't live in regret on it, because the truth is you can't go back and change it. But what you can do is learn from it. So the moment it comes clear to you, recognize that. And so moving forward, now you can address those things when it comes your way. And that's how you have to do things. So was that your first song, or was that your first meaningful moment of a song?
That was no, that definitely wasn't my first song. But I can say the transition which led me into like country, because then I started making, after the spoken word situation, I started just kind of making music.
Gotcha.
Like to help the people I was around. I seen what they was listening to, and I was like, let's do that, but keep it on a bumping beat, keep it in the tone, keep it in the tempo that they like it, but let's just put meaningful words to it. I didn't think about Christian rap or positive rap. I was trying to really influence the people that I really was around.
Gotcha.
But I didn't know it had a genre and names to it. You know what I'm saying? So when I stepped into it, that's when I first started doing it. Like, okay, let's do this hip hop, this positive hip hop. Then I started listening to Lecrae and them, and I was like, okay, it's Christian rap. Hey, let's jump into this.
So it evolved.
Yeah, so it kind of evolved into what it is right now, you know. But after it did that, after the Lord was taking me up on those levels, the Lord said, I want to go higher. I want you to be outside of your comfort zone. I want you to work with people that you don't usually work with. And that's when he started connecting the dots to me in country in Nashville.
How about that? Did you have a connection to that?
I didn't have a connection to that at first. I didn't.
Okay.
But let me tell you this story, though.
Yeah.
Even while I was doing all of this stuff, man, in between the time where I was a teenager from 2021, man, so I jumped in the railroad. Jumped into the railroad, and I started making a lot of good money from the railroad. And I remember me going to my wife at the time, because I am married, man. I've been married for 13 years, brother. I've been with my high school sweetheart since 2007. Wow. I've been with her. Now, it ain't been peaches and cream, brother.
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah, it's life.
Ups and downs, got to fight through stuff together.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because I think about that. When you put two different people in one household, from different backgrounds. Be adjustments. Yeah, you gotta grow into loving each other. But I can talk about my wife all day though when I went there. But
my wife's glad that I'm here not talking to her. So it's a mutual benefit on this thing. Hey, in case you're wondering, yes, I have the same energy and I talk a lot at the house. So she's so good that I got a podcast now.
Yeah, because now we get to do it together.
That's right. She's like, people need to share their moments with you. Go. Yeah. It's good. I'll be fine.
Yeah, and that's kind of how my brain works too, bro. And it's okay to be that way.
Absolutely.
Because now I get with people that, man, we be talking about something, then we go on to something else, then there's something else because your brain really want to kind of get it out, but it's still trying to control it.
That's right. Well, man, I got the ADDs too, so it's always a battle going on up there.
Yeah.
So then as this thing starts to evolve, you say you get into country music. So how did that introduction take place? Okay,
that introduction took place because you remember when TikTok first started getting going?
I do.
A while back. It wasn't what it is now.
Right.
But when I remember laying down at night and I was telling God at this time, I was like, okay, Lord, man, show me like what I need to be doing then. I have no connections. I have no whatsoever in what's going on there. Man, I laid down. And at the time, Louis Capaldi's song, how don't you ever, how this song go? Someone You Love or something like that? I don't even remember what it is called
Don't give me the line.
Yeah, but Louis Capaldi had a song out. And that's what played even in my dream. That song had played in my dream. And when I woke up the next morning, I said, you know what? I'm finna do a freestyle to Louis Capaldi. And I was like, let me pull it up because I haven't even heard it yet. And man, it was a song totally opposite than what I would ever think of. Like, it just wasn't, I was like, but I love it because it's telling the same story.
Yeah.
Like, when you was talking about earlier about the music and about like it rap tells a story, every song tells a story. Blues tell a story, country tell a story, jazz, it tells stories. So it's like, man, that's when I knew, let me step into something different. And so, man, when God showed me that, I remember getting up and it was so simple. I'm gonna tell everybody what I did, my whole plan on how I got it started.
All right.
When I did that, I got up and I went to the computer and I opened up the computer and I remember going in GarageBand. I went in GarageBand and then I went on the internet and I put Louis Capaldi, Someone You Love song, and it pulled it up. And I took it from there and I put it in a converter. and I made it convert to an MP3, and I took it.
You were doing AI before AI.
Brother, I didn't even know. This is the vision. This is God.
That is so awesome. Keep going.
It ain't no way that I woke up and felt this, dog.
That is amazing.
I woke up and just knew this.
Yeah.
Brother, I got stories. That's what I'm saying. That's the type of people I'm around. I got stories to where some people that this is how much God cared for you. One of my partners was looking for a cord. He could not find his cord, and it bothered him. But see, your concerns is God's concern.
Sure.
He laid down that night and had a dream that the Lord told him the cord was behind something, under something.
What?
And he went the next day and went behind the desk, and it was under the rug that he laid it under, brother.
Wow.
That's the Lord.
Man, that
you
is
know what
awesome.
I'm saying?
That is
and see,
awesome.
now I'm fired up about God, and I go on with that. So what was we at?
You were at the part about how you had the dream about the song, and you got up in your own garage band. So here you are in GarageBand doing a thing.
And I converted the MP3 and I stuck it, in GarageBand. And then I went and got instrumental, Someone You Love. And I grabbed that one and I put it on the back of it and I just cut it. I made the chorus and then I cut it and then I put an instrumental and just made the verses. And I said, let me freestyle this. And so I took one of these Shure mics and I plugged it in, and I just started hitting off with that.
Wow.
And tell me why. I said, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't know why I felt so crazy about posting. I was like, man, this ain't usually me. This is really stepping outside the box. Man, I posted that thing the very next day on TikTok. That thing had 1 million views.
Wow.
And that let me know right there. Lord said, now it's open.
Yeah.
The door is open.
You didn't have any kind of response close to that before that moment, did you?
No. Not like that.
That is like a big turning point right there.
Yeah.
Man.
It definitely was. Now, don't get it wrong. Like I had people in my neighborhood supporting everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
Man, I was buying everything. So I was good.
Yeah.
Remember, but the Lord was telling me, this is good, but I want you to do better. I'm ready. You need to go to better. Keep going and keep going and keep going. And that's what it was, man. That was the actual turning point. In my life.
So when that happens, you don't have contacts yet. At some point, there's a contact moment because I know you've done stuff with Florida Georgia Line.
Oh yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, Tyler Hubbard from FGL.
Tyler Hubbard. I remember seeing something about that. I do my homework now. Like I said, I whiffed on catching that you were a dancer first. I whiffed on that one, bro. But that doesn't surprise my teachers. They're like, you whiffed on a lot in school. Trust me, I can tell you about it. So, so then when you start developing the country mix match kind of fusion of that and rap, when's your big moment? Because now this is something I'll think about as a fan out there.
Yeah.
When do you get that first big break? Because that's what people want to hear about sometimes. They want to know maybe my break could be around the corner. Who knows?
And it can be because social media is crazy now. Now it's not even that hard no more.
It does turn out that way.
I just want to tell every creator out there, everybody's making content. Listen, please listen. Keep making the content. It don't matter who see it. It don't matter if it's one person, 1,000, 1 million,
Amen.
100 million. It don't matter because maybe that one person got the next connect that you would need, not the 1,000.
That's right.
So just keep throwing it out and keep going it out. But what was that question again?
So the question is like the first big connection you made. Like what was that?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Man, my first big connection that I made was with an amazing guy named Ash, man. Ash was in the music industry. He was in the scenes, and he was in Nashville. Amazing, super amazing guy. But it's crazy because he grew up in Jackson, Tennessee, where I grew up at. And he just reached out. He just so happened to reach out and was like, hey, man, love your stuff. This is and that. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Just thought it was just another person just kind of, just writing, Then he hit me up and was just like, hey, man, I got some pretty dope people that I'm kind of connected with. And I'd love to, just see what it's about. And then that's when I got his number. And don't forget, remember I said I was at the railroad?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was working at the railroad, bro. I was working at the railroad for almost 10 years at this time.
Wow.
And while I'm working for the railroad, I remember me sitting in lunch with everybody, and all the people around me was talking about retirement. And it was talking about like 60 and 70 grand when you retire. And I was just thinking to myself, like, that don't even sound right to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like I fit into whatever. So I started having lunch in my car just because I didn't want the negative stuff going in my ears and my head.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in that car and I remember eating my lunch and the Lord speaking to me saying that this your last day. 10 years at the railroad, this your last day.
Wow. How old were you at that time?
Oh, dude, I think how old was I at the time? Like about 26.
Wow.
Yeah. 25, 26, you know, and don't quote me on these numbers, bro. My mind is horrible when it comes to.
That's all right.
I'm still trying to remember my son's birthday.
We ballparking. There's not going to be a test later.
Yeah.
You're going to be all right. I trust me on that one. Trust me.
Yeah. What were we? What was we at?
All right. So you are like last day of the railroad, guys. Like, you know what? This is it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
what's your next step? And at that time, you said you were with your high school girlfriend. So were y'all married already at that point?
Oh yeah.
What is she saying too? I got to hear this.
Exactly.
You come home, she's gonna be like,
that's
you
what I
sure
struggle
you
with.
picked up the right phone when you
Yeah, and listen, honestly, I wasn't even really studying nothing but what she was finna think because I have been working here and it's been providing.
Yes.
So it was a point.
I have a wife, I can imagine, yes.
Yeah, but in between time while I'm working, I was using the money out of the railroad to fund my music and stuff too. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna go to the side on that, bro. I'd be so ready to just give people a lot of teaching moments, man.
But it's good because
it's
real.
So many. Yeah, and it is because I don't like to see people fall in a hole and be stuck forever. Yeah. And it's really, you really can if you get into this type of industry and work with the wrong people. It can happen.
That's a good point.
It really is.
I mean, look, there's documentaries everywhere talking about how artists got in with the wrong type of record label or the wrong type of manager.
I talk to people today.
They find themselves broke. And gone. And the industry just chewed them up and spit them out. So you really do have to guard yourself and be careful.
Yeah. But listen, I did go to my wife though, man, and I was like, look, man, the Lord put it on my heart. I ain't gonna lie to you, like, I gotta be done. I gotta jump into this music full time and just pursue it. And wherever it lands, that's where it's gonna land.
Yeah.
And my wife, you know what she said? She said, okay.
Wow.
I trust you. I believe it. And the reason why she said that is because, man, we had already been praying, brother. We had already been fasting. We had already been coming in one with each other, and we've been kind of understanding each other. We was learning so much about each other, and that's why she was okay, because she knew I wasn't gonna let them fall.
Yeah, like
she knew as a husband and as a man, I was not gonna let my family fall. You know what I mean? Like if I'm doing this, you know, it's a cause behind it, because I'm not doing this in my own strength. 10 years at the railroad, I was making great money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so she accepted that.
Yeah.
And that's when I stepped off of that limb into, let's go do this thing full time. Now I got the time.
Yeah. Now you can go full tilt.
But as soon as I did that, I'm gonna circle back to what we talked about with Ash, the guy that I met when you asked me about what was the transitional moment.
Yeah.
Brother, 4 days after that, he hit me up and said, I got some people. I said that to say, God already had a plan. Even when I stepped off the railroad, he said, here, I got you another plan. And he hit me up out the blue after I made the Louis Capaldi thing. That's how all of it just kind of tied together. And it ain't nothing but the Lord. And it happens, bro, it happens over time. It don't happen like all in a day.
That's right.
But you just got to trust, like you said earlier, about having faith. You got to have faith in something moving, because faith is what moved the mountain. Mm-hmm. I'm stepping off my job. You know what that showed God? Oh my gosh, that's faith.
Yeah.
You just left that sucker.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it moved the whole mountain of, I'm not going to have nothing done, or I'm not going to do nothing. Mm-hmm. It moved that mountain and said, hey, it's something right here. I got it for you.
Yeah.
You know.
And so then things started to take off. So this question comes to my mind because look, Lathan, understand this.
Yeah.
I have prided, this is the wrong way. It's an oxymoron the way I'm going to say this. I have prided myself in always being humble.
Yeah.
So follow that. So pride, humble, that almost doesn't seem like it goes together. But that's like one of my attributes that I always try to hold near and dear. Yeah. No matter where my situation is and no matter what the view of someone else would be of me, I always like to believe that if I were the most powerful, most famous, most whatever you want to call it in the world, it would mean nothing to me if the message was lost. To me, the message is to grow your strength in God, to have a faith. And I'm just a vessel, and everybody can be a vessel for something. So for you, now that things start to take off, does that cross your mind about, God, give me humility? Because it is easy. It is so easy. And I'm speaking from personal perspective. I'm not saying anyone else has this. Maybe it's just me.
No.
But when you start to catch the eye of other people, you start to think to yourself, I'm not important. I am not any more important than what I am to God. And that is it.
Yeah.
And so
that's why when people come to me and they be like, oh, you're a celebrity. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I like the celebrity is, I don't know, somebody big or whatever you want to think. But I started to I don't know, my family even be saying that to me sometimes. They be like, Lathan, that's so crazy how you don't see yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, They be like, but you just come and go. You do like you not nobody that's big. And I'm like, I'm not. It's the only thing with me in my mind is like this. Like, man, I'm only like God got so much for us, and I'm only a fraction of what He got for me.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. So I just got more than what I had. You know what I mean? And that's how you got more than what you had.
That's right.
Like when you serve a big God, the God of this universe, man, I'm talking about the one that sent Jesus. Like when you serve that, you got to think big.
That's right.
He think big.
He's got big plans.
Yeah. And so when people be like, oh, you're the, and I'm like, nah, I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't look at myself like that, you know?
Yeah.
But that's why I love you taking that though and using it.
That's right.
To make sure somebody else day can go great. Even if it's just a phone call, a text.
That's right.
Hey, have a blessed day, man. Go win the day today. You got it. You know what I mean? I do little stuff like that because I know now that they showed me that my name can impact what them.
That is exactly the purpose behind, I think, so much of our success in life as we see it here on earth is how can you impact other people's lives with what you've been able to succeed with. I asked that question because I know I had that moment, that impact moment as well. And it's kind of like, you know what? Never can I ever allow myself to think that I did this.
Yeah.
I ain't doing any of this. I'm a vessel of it. That's it. And then ultimately there's a bigger picture, and that's what I got to work toward. So let me ask you this question then, because I asked my son, I said, so what question would you want to ask him? Not Trey. You know my stepson. This is my son, Zach. He said.
Shout out to Trey, by the way, man.
Trey, dog, you hooked us up. You did did help introduce us. And it took us, by the way, over a year for us to finally be able to have this moment.
I'm sorry, bro. I got to apologize to you.
No, do not apologize. It was meant to be in the time it was meant to be in. I believe that with all of my heart. You said it out the box when you got out of your truck. There's no coincidence.
Yeah, it's no coincidence.
There's no coincidence. Yeah. You were meant to be here in the studio at this time, in this moment, for this message. And the person that needs to see it, or people, or whoever, is going to see this episode that maybe would not have seen it at that time.
Absolutely, bro.
So I believe that wholeheartedly.
Thank you for bringing it back to my memory as well.
Absolutely. So I just want to give my son Zach a moment here. And by the way, yes, thank you, T-Dog Trey. What artist would you love to work with in the future? That was his question.
Oh, what artist would I love to work with in the future? I'd be so focused on what God kind of lead me. Whenever we work with people, it just falls into place. Gotcha. Like we don't do it like the industry standard where it's like, let's work with this guy, let's work with that, let's work with. Now it just kind of falls. Like if somebody know that guy and they get in touch with that guy, and then they'll send a song over, or I send a song over to somebody. But honestly, it ain't nobody I would actually just wanna work with. But it's a lot of people that I would love to do music with. You know what I mean? Like, let me see, country artists. I mean, I ain't even gonna say names because I got so many friends, brother. And you got to think
you don't hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah, because behind the scenes, dog, we have conversations. This is like,
I got you.
You know, because we got a real community.
Sure,
a real knit community.
I understand that.
So I would love to work with a bunch of a lot more country artists, and stepping into some more like the rap hip hop artists.
Okay,
for sure.
Yeah. So there's your answer, Zachary. The right person that comes along in that moment will be the right person for you to work with. And that's what we do know for a fact. Then let me ask you this next question. I had a couple of little, for most of my stuff, I like it to just be a flow of conversation.
I do too.
That's how I do things, right?
And see, as you can see, man, whenever I like Babylon on the side about the other stuff from this conversation, because I literally feel like nothing is here.
That's right.
I feel like me and you just at my house, sitting in the back,
that's
chilling.
That's how it's supposed to be.
And we having a conversation.
That's what I hope for.
You know,
every time I do these things, it's always about, me and you. That's it. Nobody else is here with us.
That's it.
I did have a couple bullet point questions that folks wanted me to ask you, so
let's do it.
Don't mind doing that either.
Let's do it.
If you had to pick one artist that influenced you the most, who do you think it would be?
Who do I think it would be? Because I used to listen to so many people.
By the way, I don't prep my guests on anything.
I know.
I don't prep them. So it is always
I listen to you got to think like so many artists have influenced me, and reached out to me.
Sure.
From the Kirk Franklins all the way down to the, to the Morgan Wallens. You know what I'm saying? So I got so many people that done influenced me in music, man.
That makes sense. It is hard to pick.
And I can say that Tyler Hubbard.
Okay.
I will say that. Tyler Hubbard from Florida Georgia Line, man, that is my brother.
Okay, good.
That is like my brother. And so he actually influenced me a lot now in music because of where I am.
Yeah.
You know, and he got an amazing family. It's like he like me.
Yeah.
He got his family, he got his wife, he got his, and they've been together forever. So it's like, you know, he balancing the family, and it's like we
correlate on all that stuff.
Correlate on that. So yeah,
very easy to see where they're coming from on stuff.
So he actually influenced me, like even in music, and he showed me too, like to just kind of take things to another level. Like you don't always just have to be here. Man, just kind of keep moving around.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's funny because in the same kind of thought process, people often ask me, because I do a lot of speaking. I'm a professional speaker. I go and I'll do motivational events, and I've spoken from everything from cancer awareness to keynote speaking at graduation. So I have a wide variety, and people ask me, who do you try to emulate? Who is the people you focus on? That's just funny because I have a celebrity person. Yeah. I have a non-celebrity person that probably a lot of people know. That's, I say non-celebrity, but I'm talking about like Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I love Denzel's motivational talk because when you listen to him talk, it doesn't sound like he's being an actor.
No.
He's not being fake. No. He's speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
And I love that when he talks at different events. And then I don't know if you know who Inky Johnson is.
Yeah, I know Inky.
Played football for Tennessee, hurt his arm.
Yeah.
The first time I heard him, choked up, first of all, big old knot in my throat. It was like swallowing that down. And I'm like, that dude, everything he just said came from one place right here. And that is his heart. And just the backstory of how hard he had it growing up and how much he appreciated everything he got along the way. And I'm like, man, I want my messages when I go out and speak, I don't want people to hear them. I want them to feel them. And if they don't feel it, that means it ain't coming from my heart. And that's how I always try to approach it. So in the same thread, I like the fact that you use Tyler Hubbard's background of his family and y'all have the same kind of, approach to life, if you will. And that is what bonds you, and that's what brings you together. Even though those two guys have no idea who I am, I definitely admire what they do, and those are the reasons for it. So another quick question here, sir, if you don't mind. We got a little bit more time. We're getting close, though. What was it like getting a label? Because if I'm not mistaken, you're on Columbia Records, Tribe Records. Tribal?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't have my glasses on, bro. Don't hold that against me.
It's all good.
I was reading it on my phone. I'm like trying to get the right angle with the light.
Yeah.
Tribal Records. Sorry.
No, it's
like,
all
I ain't
good.
never heard no Tribe. Why my eyeballs fail me.
No, it's all good. It's good working with a lot of different people, like in the industry and in the label. But currently now, like, I'm not signed to nobody.
So you're independent?
Yeah, bro. Okay. I'm independent, and I'm gonna stay independent. Now I work with labels, maybe behind the scenes and stuff. But we going in a way that the Lord is teaching us to go. And sometimes it don't sit well with labels and stuff. But I'm going in, like I said, I'm going in a way that the Lord is pushing me and teaching me.
That's fair.
But it's been good with them. With both of them. Columbia Records, When I came in, the guy Ash, he the one introduced me to the people that was in Columbia and Columbia Records, and that was my first start. I made a song called Over Yonder. That was my first song with like the Columbia and Records, And but even after that, like the Lord steered me in a different way, and it was mutual, and we all understood, and it was just like, okay, cool. Thank you. We did this. Now it's time for me to move on.
Next season.
I'm
big into that.
Yeah. And then after leaving them, I understand.
Yeah.
After working with them, I understood, okay, now what do I want?
Yeah.
What is it that I want? And so with different labels now, when I work with them, I do it like this, and I can give people the formula. So I do it like this. When I come in, even with labels, I don't just go sign with a label. No, because I want to see if it work first. If it work, it works. If it don't, it don't. So with any label, we kind of come together and we be like, hey, let me give you 2 songs. Let me give you 3 songs, and let's just see if it works. And let's just see.
You can see if you have chemistry.
Yeah, see if you got some type of chemistry.
That makes perfect sense.
And if everybody say no, them ain't the people I'm finna work with.
That's right.
Because God gave me the vision.
That's right.
He didn't give them the vision.
That's great advice to everybody out there right now. And it doesn't have to do with music. That's just life in general.
Yeah.
If you and another person, y'all don't have the same focus and vision for yourself,
man,
have the confidence to step away from that and go to the next thing. That's actually really great life advice.
Yeah, it is. And also too, that was me and my team's approach when it came to labels. So we would still love to work with them. So I said that to say, even Tribal, man, like they are dope. They are super dope. And because they the ones that kind of opened that door for me.
Yeah.
When I came in with them, it was like, hey, look, I said, man, let's do 5 songs. He said, okay. Let's do 5 songs. Okay, cool. And still writing it up on a different exclusive, non-exclusive type deal on the back end, and getting it all in writing. That's another thing. Getting everything in writing and making sure it is stamped and approved by your attorney.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. So once God opened up that door for one, He gonna open up the door for another one.
That's right.
And another one, they want to do 2 or 3. And another one, they want to do 2 and 3. Like, that's my approach of it. And it's also too, like, making sure like just that label ain't getting everything. Like, you got to think about that. Like, look at what's written and make sure that other side ain't getting everything. Because if it's supposed to be a friendship, if it's supposed to be godly, if it's supposed to be the good thing, then make sure it's like mutual. Y'all come to a great agreement. And if you can't, move on.
That's right.
There's a lot of people out there that want to work with you that you don't even know. Yeah,
that's another good point. There's a lot of people watching, folks, that they don't even know they're being seen. And a lot of times folks are just waiting to see if that's the standard, if that's who you are, whether it's music or whether it's anything for that matter. They're waiting to see sometimes people that really don't want to take a chance if they don't know who you are, or you haven't put enough of your product out there. So continuing the process and having that faith, the thing will be there that you want or you need when it's supposed to be, much like this interview, sir.
Yes,
much like
dog.
this interview.
It's perfect timing.
It is perfect timing. I always do believe in that. Let me see here. I think I had one more question for you that was from the gallery, if you will. It's funny because I have a small network of friends and family. And they will check in with me and they'll be like, who do you got coming on this week? Because they want to find out some questions. And so I'll throw in some little sidebar questions that they come from. And I think it's a great way to connect with everybody.
It is, man. And that's another thing, too. Let me say this before you ask that question. Like, man, I love working with the local people. I love working with it. I love coming in, like, rubbing shoulders with the good people. Just the good people around.
Absolutely. Trust me. And I'm not saying this, I'm saying this with realness. Not everybody's a fit for my show. There's some great people that have done things, but their message is not my message. And so much to what you're saying, it's like I respect them. But that's not what we are and what I am. And so that's okay too.
That's okay. Boundaries, bro. Boundaries are healthy.
You got to know who you are. That's 100% right. So this question is, what would you say in the industry is your greatest challenge and what is your greatest reward?
Ooh, that's a great one. I think my greatest challenge is in the industry is when you say no to certain things. When you say no, like, nah, I don't want to. And it's like the well, if we do this though, it's $100,000.
Sometimes the question is,
it's 150, it's 70,000, it's 80,000. But once it goes against what God kind of showing me, and it's like, nah, it's a no brainer for me. So my challenge is, dang, I just wish we was all on the same page here.
I got you.
And that let me know that I had to kind of move around.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So that was one of my biggest challenges. My biggest success?
Reward.
Reward.
The bigger rewards, or it could be success reward.
My biggest reward is, honestly, what I've learned. It's all about the knowledge, honestly. Because I had to learn that type of stuff. Yeah, the growth. So I had to learn that type of stuff to know what I want when I left them. So that's why that's what it is with me. And now I get to take the good people behind the scenes and we get to come together and where 2 or more are gathered and just think of some stuff and just be creative and do whatever we need to do. Then we go over here to these people and we just kind of figure it out together. So that's my greatest reward is like being able to step out and try to do business.
And that's the beauty of life too, is that if you're being intentional, you're going to constantly grow. It's not like it's just one little period of time. It should be a lifelong event. Growth should be a lifelong event. And the best way to do that, like you said, that was surrounding yourself with good people.
With the good people.
That have the right message and get you in the right direction and positive direction. Do you have a thing you go to? This is an extra. This ain't from down here. This is just what came to my mind. Do you have something that you kind of lean on for lyrics? How do you decide on your lyrics whenever you're deciding on a song?
I ask God to be my mouth to speak. and right before I go on any mic or whatever. And how I'm getting my lyrics is too is like, man, me staying fed. And understanding people too. Like I like to do stuff that's gonna help somebody, like you said, out of something. But they can understand it in a way that they can understand it. But I'm not, I'm not way over here off the limb and with all the cussing and all the, you don't have to do that to do that. So
right.
even when I'm thinking of my lyrics though, it's just asking the Lord, man, just be my tongue to speak and definitely give me the thought and the process of how I need to lay this track down.
Yeah. Do you find yourself writing down stuff and then like
absolutely,
and then you read, you're like, I don't feel that.
Yeah, well, I don't write music. Like I don't write it down,
Yeah.
But no, I put lyrics in points.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yes.
Yeah.
You find yourself and you're like, you know what, that ain't the right message.
Yeah. Well, honestly, everything on that paper is good.
Yeah.
But I can reword it.
I got you.
If it need to be reworded. It just give me inspiration to the next thing. Ain't nothing wasted.
I got you.
Because if I just be like, nah, I don't like that, then it's wasted. Ain't nothing wasted on the God,
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Harry Mack?
Harry Mack.
He's a freestyle rapper, and he doesn't have a label. So he just goes around. He does TikTok. It just came to my mind because you're talking about.
I got to follow Harry.
Oh, man. Harry Mack. Look, and he's not a. He doesn't cuss a lot. He will throw some in there, but he's pretty clean.
Yeah.
But his niche is. It just came to my mind when you're talking about that squirrel. It happens.
No, this was up.
It happens.
But I had 12 square moments on your show.
So there you go. It's all right. So the squirrels are running wild, boys and girls. He'll go up to a group of 10 people and have each person give him a word.
Yeah.
Whatever word they want, and then he'll play some musical in the background, and then just hit each word in a rap continuous without missing. It is savantish.
Amazing. That's a gift.
You could give me 10 words and me just try to recite them back. I'm going to forget 3 or 4.
Yeah. Nah, see, everybody do it different.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember the words, much less put them into a rap song.
No,
you got to check out Harry Mack.
But, I got to check out Harry. I'm going to check out Harry.
He's pretty good. There's 2 things last here as we're at the end of the show. One, I would like to ask your thoughts or just words of wisdom, anything you want to share with the audience about anything from this is Lathan's unscripted script that you can throw out there. And then I would be remiss if I didn't ask you if you would want to do a rap song to carry us out at the end, and we could pull music up so we could hit a pause on it and pull your music up. I do not want you to feel like you have to do that.
Hey, no, we can do that. You got the song?
We can pull it up, yes.
Yeah, pull the song up. We can do that.
So before
if I can remember the lyrics, because I be so gone off of these songs, man.
Just do it. Just do whatever comes natural to you.
Let's do it.
So before we bounce to that, because we'll have to do a cut and bring it in, any last words you have from audience?
Yes, absolutely. Man, fast. Don't just pray, fast. Pray and fast. It was a time to where the disciples and Jesus went to go try to cast out this demon, and the disciples couldn't cast the demon out. And then the Lord told the demon, you got to come out. And he came out. And the disciples pulled Jesus to the side and they asked him, they said, man, why can't we pull out this spirit? And Jesus said, because this one don't just come with prayer. This one comes with prayer and fasting. I said that to say fast so you can reach like different levels, even in your life. Fast. Like what I mean by fast is deny your flesh with something that your flesh love to do. Deny it. Because whatever you feed the most, that's what grows.
Man, that's great.
If you feed the flesh is going to grow. If you feed the spirit is going to grow. Well, I've been feeding the spirit. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So, and it's a reason why we do that. We do that for a purpose, and we do that for a cause, for real. That's what gives me the influence to do the music, because that's what's making people say, let me put the gun down. Let me put this down. So that was on my heart. As soon as you said that, I said, Lord, give me something. He gave me that.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, God, for...
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
man. I tell you what, that's beautiful. It's super wise, and thank you for sharing it. Thank you so much for all your time here. We are not going away, but I am going to hit the pause on the edit button. We're here at an hour 12, so we're going to be right back. You're going to hear Mr. Lathan Warlick dropping some beats on y'all, so do not go anywhere.
I love y'all.
All right, guys, welcome back. And look, we have a little special moment for you guys. As I said, Lathan Warlick is about to drop it off. This is going to be his big hit, I'm Still Here. Lathan, please take the mic, baby.
Let's do it. Yeah, see, have you ever had a moment where you knew you were tested and screwed up, feeling like your faith was so disconnected, fighting through the anxiety, trying to battle depression and trying to move with the reverence, cause I was due for a lesson, but it's cool. God came through with a blessing and I knew nobody around me could step into my shoes, learning how to stand on decisions that I choose. Yeah. Cause I'm still here, scars all over my skin, they can show you everywhere I've been. Yeah, I'm still here, trying to love everybody I can, cause I know one day it'll end. Yeah, I'm still here, I know I ain't the only one, everybody gotta go through something. I'm still here, and I know that my day gon' come, but until it does, I'm still here. Yes, sir. Let's do that. I love it.
Oh, man, Lathan. Thank you, bro. That is, woo!
Thank y'all for having me.
That is fantastic,
Appreciate
dude.
it, man.
Gave me goosebumps. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, I can't thank you enough. I know you're super busy, dude. I wish you all the best in the world. You're gonna go out there. You're gonna keep crushing this
Thank
thing.
you, man.
Look,
Thank you.
if you're back in town sometime down the road, you've got other big things going on. You got a moment. You're always welcome back at my mic, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Whenever you need me back, brother, I'm rolling right on back through. Thank you.
Love you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. I cannot even express how much it means to me to see your love come to me. Emails, texts, and all of the above. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you right now, please go to my website, motivatewithcoachcamp.com. Subscribe to my YouTube. And until next time, Coach Camp.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can